the only bright side for them is still that 35-year-old dude who's basically the greatest shooter of all time.
One of the teams I believe can still make a run in the
Yep,
playoffs,
yep.
despite that they're in the play-in.
Damien Dollar want more. Damien Diamond solving more. Vision clear, we rack 'em up, make 'em real intangibles.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome back to the Intangibles podcast. I'm Matt here with Laij, and baka nagtataka kayo ba't kaming dalawa lang today? Um, well, maraming ginagawa lahat ng ibang mga tao. At
Uh-huh.
siguro by the end of April, kasi guys, for information, thesis month namin this month, and maraming kaganapan. So we will try to put out as much content as we can. May naisip na kami, like we said, nung pagkatapos namin mag-rebrand, no? May mga naisip kaming content na ilalabas and we will work on that. You will see that very soon. Pero for now, thesis month ng iba, kaya kung sino lang pwede talaga yun lang makikita nyo. But we will try to bring you guys the best content as much as possible right now. And
Mhm.
since dalawa lang kami, um, perfect timing to dahil JJ Redick and LeBron James released their own podcast called Mind the Game, wherein they analyze plays, terms in basketball. Although hindi naman kami si JJ Redick at saka si LeBron James, no. At
Di naman.
shout out sa kanila for this for our idea for this content. Pero hindi kami sila, and bibigyan na lang namin kung ano mabibigay namin this episode for you guys. Kami muna ang LeBron at saka JJ Redick nyo for today's video. So, ang pag-uusapan namin ngayon would be number one, the top three players for each position in the NBA today. Although positionless basketball siya, there's still very much positions as labels for players in today's NBA. And saktong-sakto, dahil nga, like I mentioned, it's positionless basketball now. May mga plays din kaming pag-uusapan like LeBron James and JJ Redick does. May mga plays kaming pag-uusapan na medyo na interested kami na gumagana ngayon in today's NBA and maybe in today's basketball. So, for your information, pag-uusapan namin yung top players dahil next week, led by Byron Loterio, we will be drafting starting fives per position. Basically, point guard teams, shooting guard teams, center teams, that you get the idea. So, ito yung
Uh-huh.
perfect start to that. First of all, ito, pag-uusapan natin, no? Point guards. Lige, maraming point guards ngayon sa NBA. Sinong consider
Yeah.
mo as your top three? Let's start muna with number three. Sino ang number three point
Number
guard sa
three
tingin mo in today's
right
NBA?
now. Um, if we're just basing it off right now, I think pasok pa rin sa akin si Steph Curry in the top three.
Mm-hmm.
I know you could say na the Warriors are like what, 8 or 9 as of
Diba?
now.
Aren't they 10th? Sila ata yung last
Oo.
position to play in.
Well, anyways, still goes to show na Steph Curry is still, alam mo yon, even though na ganun ka, I wouldn't say irrelevant, pero you're not that good as before. Pero the only bright side for them is still that 35-year-old dude who's basically the greatest shooter of all time. And I think he's top three kasi although in a league where sobrang daming magagaling na point guards right now, ano ba tawag dito? Effective pa rin yung style of play niya. And, for that age, alam mo yun,
Uh-huh.
tumatanda na siya. Pero
I mean,
if wala si Steph sa Warriors, I mean, di ba?
To be fair, kanina sinabi mo that he's not as good as before. But I feel like his team
Uh-huh.
isn't as good as before. Then I think that's probably one of the biggest factors. Although they have
Yes.
their core, no? Si Clay,
Yep.
Draymond, the championship core, sila Andrew Wiggins. There are a lot of play. Not only is Clay not playing to his usual game.
Just playing bad.
He's playing bad. And he's playing bad.
Uh-huh.
Wala centers nyo, ang bata. At si Trace Jackson ba yun? Yung rookie center
Oo.
nila.
Kumbaga,
He's, he's good, but he's young. Kevon Looney's there. He's good as a hustle player. I mean, maraming components sa championship team nila na wala. May it be
yeah.
skill.
So, and ayun nga. If tingnan mo kasi that team outside of Steph, that's not really a contending team. They're looking they're in the play-in. Pero as long as they have Steph, alam mo yan, he's still one of the more impactful players. And I think I heard parang may sinabi si LeBron about Curry. I think the reason why he's still one of the best right now is because he's making any defender who defends him, he makes them feel uncomfortable, even until this day.
Mm.
And I think I think the same too. Parang he's one of those players talaga na if dinidepensahan mo, alam mong may intimidation factor na talaga.
Yes.
And so yeah, I have to put him at 3.
And ano na rin, ito marami akong i-connect sa Mind the Game Pod. Sinabi rin nila doon na, which I agree as well, Steph Curry is one of those players, one of the few players in the NBA na threat of the ball. Superstar threat of the ball. Most of the stars in today's league are a threat when they do have the ball.
Ball
Again, name mo
dominant.
lahat. Ball dominant. Luka, Jokic, JT, Shea, sino ba? Giannis,
D-book.
D-Book,
KD.
KD. Most of these stars are ball dominant and he's one of the few na alam mong threat of the ball. And I have to put him on number 3. I have to agree with that. Pero so I'm gonna move on to number 2. I feel like I mentioned his name and I'm really not being biased. If we're looking at today's league, he's probably the number 2 point guard of today's league. I'm putting Shea at number 2. He's very versatile as a player. For some reason, hindi siya mapigilan. Even when I watch the game, hindi ko alam kung bakit hindi mapigilan yung movement niya. But I feel like one of the biggest factors that makes him a great point guard is, okay, two of the factors is one, he creates so much space for himself to get him open baskets. May it be easy or difficult. And that leads up to number 2, to get his teammates open. I feel like perfect yung system sa kanya because OKC runs a dribble drive offense. 5-out dribble drive offense. With consistent shooters and defenders. And it makes him much of a better player because again he likes driving the ball. He likes getting creation. He likes getting space for himself, and that opens up everyone else. So that I think that's what makes him a great point guard. So I'm putting him at number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I have him at number 2 rin as well. Honestly, could have been number 1. Only if that number 1 dude is, non-existent. I'm pretty sure pares yung number 1 natin.
Yep.
Pero focusing on number 2, MVP type season. And ayun nga, you explained it very well. Parang he's very hard to defend. I think he's the epitome of finesse kasi sobrang talaga siya. His game is very graceful. And when you watch his game, ma-appreciate mo talaga yung basketball is a team sport. Pero when you watch Shea, you would appreciate an individual skill kasi. And before pa nalaman ko yun kay Shea na he's one of these players na parang he doesn't get enough credit for the amount of skill set he has. Now it's getting primed up this year. Parang hopefully, this is best year, of course. Pero let's see if he's gonna get even better the following years, diba? Pero I think it's also worth mentioning his defense as well. Kasi he leads the league in steals, and he's a very disciplined defender. So he's not just a one man. Parang he's not really one sided. He's also a two-way player. And ayun nga, the fact na he's led his team to like the top seed in the West. I mean, in some cases nga nagiging number 1 yung OKC. And it's really thanks to him. So you have to put him at number 2.
I agree. And I think parehas naman tayo ng number 1. No?
This dude.
Magic.
I mean, before SGA, nandito na siya. Actually, I mean,
he's one of the
SG
best.
is older.
He's still one of the best point guards, bro.
I mean, he is the best right now. So, ayun.
Luka. See, may problema ako dito eh. Dalawa silang point guard eh.
Luka at saka si Kyrie. Yun nga, naisip ko din si Kyrie.
Naisip ko si Kyrie, pero okay, either way, if Kyrie was a point guard, he's not on my top 3 right now. Sa totoo lang.
Top 5.
Top 5,
pero
yes.
Maganda pinapakita ni Kyrie right now.
Let's just say Kyrie sa point guard para lang wala tayong mamaya sa shooting guard, no? Let's just say Kyrie sa point guard. Anyway, Luka. I did not expect this type of I expected this type of like production, yung tipong overall points, rebounds, assists, but I really didn't expect it na he has Kyrie with him tapos ganun pa rin siya. And I don't remember the stat, but the specific stat or the specific source this came from, but Luka is leading in first half points and Kyrie is leading in second half points in the league. In the whole league. So, palitan. Gumagana. Gumagana. Pero, I mean, Luka, one of the best players in the league. I consider the best point guard in the league. Can make the tough plays, can make the tough passes, can be an actual point guard at the same time create for himself. If Shea is unstoppable, Luka is
immovable.
I have no idea. Sobrang nababagalan ako kay Shea. Pero mas mabagal si Luka.
Shea is unstoppable. Pero Luka is also unstoppable with less effort. Kasi effortless naman laro rin ni Shea. Pero the reason why parang mas masasabi ko talagang Luka is better than Shea. I don't want to compare, pero it's the fact na parang he's not even trying.
Right.
Alam mo, makikita mo at some cases aggressive si Shea. Si Luka, like, doesn't have to be aggressive. Yeah, so that's what's amuses me. Like, not even this year lang. We after second year nga.
Oh. Iba?
So,
Iba. Sige. I mean, I think that's self-explanatory. So, let's move on. Shooting guard, Laij. Number 3 mo shooting guard.
Ito, medyo mahirap to.
I mean, I can go first.
Sige, you go first. I have 2 people in my mind kasi. Pero I wanna hear from you. For the number 3.
Number 3, it's a tough decision. Pero I feel like Paul George deserves to be there. Is he a 3 or a 2 though? That's my question.
Not sure.
Medyo bro, okay. Let me just say I remember mo sa 2 kasi from Indiana pa. Like even back. Kasi siya, right now he's scoring almost 23 points a game, 5 rebounds, almost 4 assists. If he's a shooting guard, okay. But if we're getting technical, I mean, Kyrie's becoming the shooting guard of the team.
Kyrie?
Kyrie's becoming a shooting guard for pag nagsabay sila ni Luka,
Oo.
right? So,
So you
medyo
can,
one of the two. Really, one of the two akin. I really don't know kasi hindi ko alam yung position ng dalawa. But, ewan ko, ikaw, Laij, sino ba sa'yo?
at number 3, you know what? Sige, I won't be biased. Sa totoo lang, I'm not a fan.
Devin Vassell?
Hindi. Sa totoo lang kasi, I'm not really, parang, ano ba tawag yun? As time has gone by, parang, alam mo yun, I started to like, not hate naman. I would sound like a hater. Pero, I think, I have to give him respect rin kasi he has led his team in the East. He's not the main guy in the top seeded Boston Celtics
Jaylen
team.
Brown.
Pero I think he deserves a credit for being in the top 3 kasi he's averaging 23 points. Actually, I was picking Donovan Mitchell and isa pa underrated si Tyrese Maxey right now.
Fuck Donovan.
Pero I was gonna say Donovan actually. Pero nung I realized na may Jaylen Brown pa pala. Jaylen Brown is a two-way player and he's very, even though you could say so much things about him, to me parang medyo umaano siya. I don't know, parang he's getting way ahead of himself. Pero at the same time, I think he deserves to be the top 3 kasi in the top 3 conversation of best shooting guards right now. Kasi you could say, well, consistent in a sense na it's hard to say kasi you're a Celtic, di ba? Pero at the same time, he's a key piece to the Celtics. Which is why he brings consistency and he brings kumbaga that winning type of basketball. So I have him at 3.
I retract my answer. Since hindi ko lahat dun sa positions na yun yung dalawang binanggit ko. Yeah, Jaylen Brown. He was my other option. Number 2 ko, I would go with Devin Booker. To be honest, di ko alam kung ano nangyayari sa Phoenix team. Although it's not that bad. They're in the 7th seed, but you'd expect more from a team with that much star caliber. Hindi lang talaga sila minsan na nabubuo. But the guy is a great scorer. Absolutely great scorer. He's scores 27 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. So, he's basically, technically walang point guard ang Phoenix. So he's playing combo guard and he's very effective in it. So although medyo iffy ako kay Devin Booker, again, like you said with Jaylen Brown, you have to give them their flowers. So I'm going with Devin Booker at number 2.
Number 2 ko rin si Devin Booker. Kasi I don't know, for some reason nobody's mentioning his name. Parang he has gone under the radar ulit. And I'm starting to like him again. Kasi dati kasi parang nayayabangan ako sa kanya. He was like Jaylen Brown, right? Before he was like today's Jaylen Brown. Pero right now he's getting himself back to work again. Parang I didn't know na he's actually averaging 27 points per game. And he's shown why people are telling him na he's like Kobe. Pero that's out of the conversation naman. Pero he's one of the pure basketball players right now. Parang he's just a baller. And I think I know may KD ang Phoenix Suns. Pero he's one of the few guys talaga, si Devin Booker, na he just plays ball. And I think that's the reason why I'm giving him this much credit kasi Before kasi parang he's like in the media lang eh. Now parang nakita mo talaga na the only thing he does is ball and he's a baller. So I have to put him at number 2.
Yep.
Number one na ba?
Number 1, very simple answer, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Before the season started, he said he was gonna change his game and become a much, much better player along with his change of jersey number. And di ako naniwala, medyo iffy ako sa Minnesota noon, but he's proven his worth throughout the season, showing such great development as a player. He's averaging right now, hold up, let me pull it up. He's averaging 26 points, 5 rebounds, almost 6 rebounds, 5 assists for a third-year player. Leading his team to almost number 1 seed. They just lost to Denver a while ago, as of today. But they were the number 1 seed. Now they're the number 2 seed. A very young team, very good team, and he's leading them. He's one of the leaders to that team, I would say.
Yep. I think kung ano nakikita natin kay Ja Morant before, that's what we're seeing from Anthony Edwards right now. Ako personally, I think, lang this is just me. I personally think na Ja Morant is still better. Pero, iba yung leap na pinakita ni Anthony Edwards from the past seasons. Kasi I know he's a good player. I know he's one of those guys na that's gonna be a rising star. Pero I didn't know na, alam mo yun, parang this year he's gonna be like one of the few faces of the NBA na talaga. I know it was this quick na magiging ano siya, na mag-bloom siya. I didn't know he's gonna be like in the caliber of, let's say, SGA.
Yeah.
SGA is a MVP caliber player. I'm not saying, well, he's putting up MVP numbers naman, pero let's just say maraming nagpo-put up ng MVP numbers right now. And one of those is Anthony Edwards, and I didn't expect that from him, putting up MVP caliber numbers to the point na he's the best shooting guard right now, I believe. Actually, magiging number 1 ko si Devin Booker. Pero outlasts D-Book kasi he plays better defense as well. And I don't know, parang medyo ano rin to. Siguro style of play lang rin. Pero it's more electrifying kasi.
Sige. Small forwards. Dito medyo nahihirapan ako. But at the same time, I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as I can be. Small forward. I guess I'll be putting I'll be putting Kevin Durant at number 3. Kevin Durant right now with 2 stars with him is scoring 27 points, almost 7 assists and 5 rebounds. And I just say that he is one of the most available players among the 3 of them that are stars in that team. Kevin Durant has led, I believe he is the leader and has led his team to the 7th seed. And I think at this rate, he's 15 years in the league. So he's getting old as well. But he's still producing. He's still a very much difficult player to guard. And I think he's still one of the best small forward in the league. Although I still hate him. Sa number 3 ko. Dito ba mag-iba tayo, Laij? Ng mga sagot.
Actually, feeling ko magiging parehas tayo. Magiging parehas pa rin.
Talaga ba?
Kasi it hurts. He started sitting out and starting having minutes restrictions ulit. Pero he should have been, if we had this conversation 2 months ago or 3 months ago, he should have been number 1. Pero I was picking him or KD. I believe parang at some point before, Kawhi was the best shooting small forward. Well, at the end of the day, ayun nga, as they say, the best ability is availability. And I think KD has proven that he's much more available, as you said nga. And ayun nga, ano ba tawag dito? He's showing up talaga. The fact na he's still averaging 27 points per game at that age goes to show he's one of the purest scorers, not just today, of all time talaga. And
That's
he's
7
still
foot,
deadly.
bro. That's 7 foot.
That's still dangerous of him. And I think he deserved to be in this number 3 spot right now. And he's one of the fewer NBA players right now na biglang ano rin, not talked about. I don't know, kasi for some reason, Phoenix is not talked about, even though they have Devin Booker and King. Parang yun lang yung napapansin. So, it's just crazy to me that the fact na a top 2 SG and a top 3 small forward is part of a team that's not really talked about enough. Well, they're the 7th seed. It's crazy to think about it rin, di ba, na they're the
And
7th
the fact
seed.
that na 7 seed lang sila with that.
Pero, ewan ko lang. At at this at the same time rin parang ano rin we don't talk about the Phoenix enough. Pero when it comes to KD, I think he's top 3 still.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
agree.
top 3 small forward.
I agree. So, hindi ko alam if people will agree with me, with people watching. But my number 2 would be LeBron. 25.5 points, 7.2 rebounds, 8.2 assists. How old is he? 39? 38?
39.
37?
39 ata.
What?
1984 ata siya pinaganak like December.
Ayun, natama, 1984.
Uh-huh.
Damn. So he's 39. And
Yeah.
he's playing that way. He's one of, I don't want to give him as much props, sa mga LeBron fans dyan. Pero still one of the smartest players in the league. The main reason I'm putting him at number 2 is because he's making the Lakers kailan ka makakarinig na number 9 seed posible pa mag-champion. I saw this on TikTok. For the past 2-3 months, Laker fans have been still confident na aabot sila ng championship, ng finals with this team. And that's mainly because of him. So, take that however you want, but siya number 2.
Yeah, number 2 rin si LeBron. I don't wanna delve deeper rin kasi gusto ko lang yun, parehas lang rin kasi sasabihin ko. And although I wouldn't really say na he's the reason why, I wouldn't say as much na if LeBron wasn't playing, Lakers would be out of the play-in kasi he's proven sometimes na kahit hindi siya maglaro, nakakapag, what they call this, nananalo pa rin Lakers eh. Pero what I will say is that as long as you have a LeBron James, confidence booster yun kasi he's always gonna show up. He's a great example of consistency. And I think at age 39, turning 40, he's still parang the most well-rounded player. I mean, everyone knows that, pero he's not supposed to perform that way at age 39. And the fact na he's, averaging 25 plus points, tapos almost double-digit assists, not sure. Basta he's putting up numbers pa rin at age 39. I think he's still a top 3 SF and at number 2 in that regard.
Number 1 mo, Laij.
Feeling ko pares pa rin tayo, Mat. Alam na natin kung sino
Yep.
number 1. I also don't like this dude, pero I think he's okay. Pero, ewan ko, na-rank natin dyan sa number 1. Yeah.
Jason Tatum. Ano masasabi mo about Jason Tatum?
Yeah. I think individually, masasabi kong LeBron or KD would still be like the better player. Pero when it comes to team basketball talaga, he's gonna show he's the better superstar. He's not like, for me personally, he's not on the level of as an individual player. He's not on the same level as Luka. This is my opinion. Pero lagi siyang nako-compare sa kanya. And I think actually because of how he plays talaga in terms of a team setting. Kasi, okay, parang effective lang talaga yung game niya. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Effective to the point na he helps his team be the number one seed in the East. The number one team in the NBA in general, di ba?
Mhm.
And he's their leader. So, I have
27
to put him at number one.
27 points, 8 rebounds, almost 5 assists per game. I think you said it all. Jason Tatum, my number one right now. Power forward, Laij.
Ito na ata yung mahirap.
I think there's
Wait
still
a
a
minute.
consensus. I think there is still a consensus number one.
I'm sure. Pero at the same time, do we consider Anthony Davis a power forward?
In today's league, he's a center, I feel like.
Bakit nakasabi dito na si Kevin Durant is a power forward?
Well, technically based on their team kasi. Wala, di nakikita ko kasi talaga siya as a small forward eh.
Same. I wouldn't mention him naman if hindi siya Pero I would say, at number 3, I have Paolo.
Paulo. Yes, I agree.
Paolo.
Uh-huh.
Dude's just a sophomore. And he's lead this team to what? Anong seed?
Fourth?
Fourth.
Yeah.
Yung he doesn't play like
Fifth.
he doesn't play like a sophomore. Sobrang comfortable siya magana. He's one of those Jason Tatum archetypes. Yung effective at saka comfortable maglaro.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just a sophomore. And he's leading his team in fifth. That's a big achievement. Especially if you're Orlando, di ba?
Yes.
Kasi usually, di sila... Well, it's gonna... we're finally gonna see Orlando in the playoffs. And it's all thanks to him.
Yep.
Paolo. So I have to put him at number 3.
May iniisip ako for number 3. Kasi sobrang positionless ng basketball nowadays.
Number 3 or number 4?
Number 3. Number 3.
Okay.
3 at the 4 position. What position is J-Dub?
All I can say is not a 3. He's not a 4. Pero alam ko he's at the power forward.
He's at the power forward, but he's not a 4. Yun lang. Sige. Ito, baka magulat ka sa number 2 ko ng power forward.
Wait, number 2? Pares rin ba yung number 3 mo?
Number 3. Yun
Okay,
din number 3 ko. Di ko kasi. Sige, alam mo, Laij, ikaw muna. Titignan ko lang tong stat na to. Sino number 2 mo?
Number 2 ko si Zion.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Magkaiba tayo.
It's available.
Aren't you expecting him to play much better than he is? No?
Zion?
Yeah.
Pero, I mean, yeah. Pero, at the same time, I think he's playing better than other power forwards. I mean, Julius Randle's not... I'm not sure eh. I might be missing someone. Pero, Julius Randle's not playing. Sino pa ba yung mga power forwards? Sige, let's see.
Cut.
Oh my God. Cat is a power forward. Ano kasi?
Sobrang gulo ng
He doesn't, I don't see him as a power forward.
That's what he plays though. For years
Well,
now with Rudy.
Kung ganon, he's number 2, pero I don't see him as a true power forward. He can space the floor. Oo, he plays like a power forward, pero wala eh. He's, parang ewan ko, parang center pa rin siya ang tingin ko sa kanya.
How about Aaron Gordon?
Gordon. I think he's more effective than Zion, pero I still have Zion at number 2. Kasi, I don't know, parang you can never count Zion out.
I'm gonna look at Kat as a 4. So, kasi yun yung ano ko eh. Siya yung number 2
At number 2.
Yeah, siya yung number 2. Magagalit si Byron, pero siya number 2 eh. Number 1 ko, I think, is very obvious. Number 1 is Giannis.
Yep.
He's injured though. For now.
Giannis.
Medyo ano, but yes, Giannis, no doubt. I don't think anyone compares yet to Giannis at the 4th position. It's not really a conversation at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Center,
ito yung mahirap kasi sige na, let's argue. Do we consider Embiid to be like an active player?
Ito masasabi ko sa'yo. I think even if he was active, I don't think he's a number 1 or a 2.
Seryoso?
In that top 3.
Really? Si Embiid?
This season?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Embiid's like the top scorer before he got injured, ah. Pero he's not my number 1. I mean, I think everyone knows who's our number 1 is. Pero
yeah,
he's the top scorer nung naglalaro siya. Ewan ko eh. Basta let's focus on Embiid lang muna.
As an active player.
Oo. Or like, can we consider him? Kasi he only played like, mga less than 40 games lang ata eh. Pero he's playing right now.
The thing is, I don't want to consider him. Dahil,
yun nga rin eh.
Kasi you have 82 games and you played less than half of that.
So let's not consider him?
Yes, kasi you can say na he played so good in the first half of the season. And then, paano kung second half biglang masama pala yung laro niya?
Okay,
we can never say because he didn't play the half of the season.
He was supposed to be my number 2. Pero at number 3, wait lang. Check ko lang muna to. Okay, I was gonna say someone na you would guys say na I'm biased with. Pero I think Sabonis deserves the number 3 spot.
Ooh, sino number 2?
I think Sabonis deserves the number 3 spot.
Sinong number 2
mo?
Nagulat ako dun ah.
Kasi he's the leading rebounder. He's a triple-double threat.
He is.
Hindi ko lang napapansin yun.
He is a triple-double threat.
So I have him at number 3. Sabonis.
Oh, sinong number 2 mo?
Yung number 2 na mention ko na yung pangalan niya kanina.
Wemby?
No.
Joel?
No.
The fuck? Cut?
Hindi. Sino ba number 3 mo?
I was gonna say Bam.
Talaga?
Unless I'm forgetting someone.
Yo, AD.
Oh shit! Oh ano? Yeah, Domat sa number 3. AD number 2. I forgot AD. Sabi ko na may nakalimutan ako eh. Yeah.
Kasi gago if Bam is my number 3, no disrespect. Pero kasi lalagay ko pa I mean, magaling naman si Bam. To be honest. Pero gonna lie, I'm ranking Wemby over him. Pero Domas at 3.
Domas at 3. I'd say AD. This has been one of the healthiest seasons he's had. And he's so effective rebounding. He's so effective as a number 1 option pag wala si LeBron. Even when LeBron is there, sometimes siya pa nga yung number one option eh.
Yep.
And blocks. Defensively, lockdown. Rebound, lockdown. Points, lockdown. If he continues to play like this, going into next season, I won't be surprised if he'd be considered with one of the higher tier awards. Especially if the Lakers still continue to win, if he's the number one option. So yeah, agree.
Number one, ayoko nang, I mean, can we not? Like,
Can we not? Yeah, okay na. Obvious na
alam
yan,
na natin kung sino yan. This
Joker.
dude, gagot lang.
Joker.
Sa sinasabi ko lang, galing ni Jokic.
I think that's very obvious at this point. Pero speaking of these positions, no, medyo nahirapan tayo with some of them. Kung saan bang position sila kasi nga positionless basketball. And we can say na most of these players are just good in general. But of course, systems help. The system where you're in helps as well. Nowadays, ang dami ng plays na nire-run, but you'd be surprised of how simple it can be and yet so effective. Laij, plays. Let's talk
When it
about
comes to plays kasi, in this day and age,
We have to explain it, by the way. If you're gonna mention a
players
play,
live out.
if you're gonna mention a play, let's explain it just for the casual viewer, you know.
Players live outside the 3-point line eh. Diba?
Mhm.
Players play outside the 3-point line. So, since you mentioned na kasi like the top plays, like that's best to run in today's game. I think it would be like plays na designed for 3 points, diba? So kanina we were talking about mga screen plays.
Before the podcast, yes, we were talking about screen plays.
So building up from that, naisip ko one of the underrated, parang not underrated, one of the best plays to run in today's game is the floppy.
Mhm.
Kasi yun
Dalas
talaga
kong
yung
gamitin sa 2K yun.
two players on the wing. Tapos mag-screen, mag-ano sila. Ano ba? Parang mini-screen. Parang,
Okay,
kumbaga they just like screen themselves.
Let me try to explain this as much as possible. So, point guard is in the middle, top of the key. Shooters on the wing. Basta 2 players on the wing, 2 players on the post, and the point guard on the top. The non-shooter wing goes with a big man or a low post man to the sabihin natin near post na area. The other big stays where he is. The shooter then goes and cuts to the middle of the court under the rim. He can choose which side to go back where he came from or to the other side. But the main role of the 3 players and the post is to give him a screen. Right? So, ang option lang niya is to go back where he was or to go from a double screen to the other side. And I feel like, tama ka, sobrang effective ng floppy. Although, meron akong concern of putting so much players in the paint because it's such an outsider's game, outside the arc game, na I feel like teams will still focus on the guy coming out of the screen.
Ayun nga, that's why parang naiisip ko of the double floppy. Kumbaga, I think yung double floppy, I'm not sure if this is a thing, pero we've seen this before. I'm not sure if yun yung tawag. Kumbaga, double floppy, diba, there's only one guy who's flashing from yung sa ilalim ng ring tapos to the wing. Itong 2 shooters lang, they're just basically going to
switch positions
and from there
or go back.
Kumbaga, for the defense, what's hard is we have to sag for both of those mag-flash to the wing. Pero that's not the main problem. Let's say both nga shooters tapos nagsag parehas. What's gonna leave open is yung nasa paint, di ba?
Yeah.
So I think if ayun nga, I know we're in an outside, parang we live in a parang society na panay three-pointers na. That could be like, ano ba tawag dito? Like a dud, parang a dud play or parang a fake play. Pero that play is dedicated talaga for the paint.
Yeah.
So I think double floppy would be good rin.
Meron isa pa, modern day triangle. From the Warriors. Post entry kay Draymond.
Mhm.
Flare screen, basically magka-flare screen. So let's say I have Steph, Draymond aligned with me, pero nasa post siya, and then a wing player. I can pass it to the post, flare screen for Steph, pupuntang wing, Wiggins can cut, Wiggins can flare out, another big can cut from the other side. I feel like siguro yun yung pinaka na-utilize ng Warriors nowadays with how much shooters they have and how great a shooter Steph Curry is. And how
Ito.
effective Draymond is in passing.
Ano ba yung pinaka madaling side sa 3 points?
Corner.
Is it the corner? It's the corner, di ba?
The closest. It's the
So,
closest.
that being said, since I'm a Spurs fan,
Oh my God.
I want to bring up Popovich's hammer play. I
Mhm.
think, ayun nga, that's one of the, ano ba tawag dito? It's a play that you could actually run in this day and age kasi, kumbaga ano siya, visualize na there's this player on the weak, yung bola na sa weak side, or let's say on the other side of the wing. Kumbaga, what he's gonna do is that player is gonna drive towards the baseline, and there's this other player who's on the other side of the wing. Kumbaga, yun nga, yung weak side. Simultaneous yun when the player, kumbaga, what they call this, who has the ball drives towards the baseline, the player who's on the other side of the sideline goes to the corner. Pero, may screener yung player na yun. May
Flare screen.
mag-screen sa man niya.
May isa pang flare screen sa kabilang side.
So basically, when the ball handler drives, lalo na kung effective yung screen, maganda yung screen, ma-open yung isang taong nasa kabila to the corner, hammer pass. That's why it's called hammer play kasi parang I think it's because of the hammer pass.
Mhm.
Open corner shot, ayun, one of the easiest 3-point shots you could have. So hammer play is a good play. Ano pa ba? Yung mga screenplays na inaano mo, yung
Oh, yes.
individual screenplays.
Ito nga, sorry guys. Medyo maybe nauulit namin from the LeBron and JJ podcast. Pero matagal ko na rin kasing gustong pag-usapan to. So dun sa mga hindi pa nakakapanood pa din yung marinig nyo here. One of the most, ito sobrang tagal ko nang napapansin as a great play to. And according to JJ, when timed perfectly, can be the most unstoppable play in the NBA. And that is the Gortat screen. Sumikat tong screen na to recently pero matagal na siyang ginagawa. Matagal nang ginagawa talaga. As in, si Gortat pa nga lang gumagawa. Ang tagal nang wala ni Gortat sa liga. Yung sabi ko lang.
Yeah.
So, a Gortat screen is, imagine that I am the ball handler. Okay? So, we have a ball handler pala. We have a ball handler and we have a big man. Initially, hingi siya ng ball screen. Hingi yung ball handler ng ball screen. Lalagpas siya sa ball screen. He's gonna drive. And there's this thing called in the NBA cage. I-cage mo yung player. After I drive, the player defending me will go behind me and I will cage them. I will make them stuck behind me with more than enough time for the big that screened for me screens his own man away from the paint so I can drive clearly. Clear in the paint. It's the most simple play and yet so effective. I don't think you can do it constantly because, syempre, threes are more than twos. Pero still one of the most simple plays you can find.
Actually, dapat mention muna natin to before the Gortat screen. Pero the snake screen, I'm not sure if you know this.
Mhm.
Kumbaga, it's similar to the Gortat screen pero wala nang secondary screen. It's basically a singular play lang na. Kunwari, think of like, ano ba tawag dito? A normal screen. Usually kasi, di ba, if nag-screen tayo, let's say we're the player, we're gonna go towards kung nasan yung screener.
Ano, iikot?
Usually,
Iikot sa
oo,
screen? Yung ba
yung
yung ganun mo?
iikot siya, he's gonna go under the screen. He's gonna go to the other side.
Mhm.
Kumbaga kasi, it's really more effective if you want separation from your player, from your defender kasi, let's say, na-beat up nung defender yung screen. So, kumbaga, if dumiretso ka lang dun sa screen, wala. Na, what do you call this? Nag-recover. Pero, when you go do the sneak screen, kumbaga, like, punta ko sa screen, then you go under the screener. Your body kasi is like, parang what do you call this? Parang isa pa siyang screen eh.
Yeah.
And from there, your defender is like behind you na. So from there, parang the only thing you have to do is you're closer to the basket. Your defender is behind you. Kumbaga na-separate mo rin siya, na-beat mo rin siya. And ako, parang lagi kong napapansin to kasi I'm pretty sure you don't know this dude. If you know, good for you. Pero si Devin Vassell of the San Antonio Spurs, parang lagi niyang ginagawa and it's amazing. Sa local basketball, sa UAAP, I mean, I know he's not an Atenean anymore, pero during his days last year, si Fortsky, Padrigao,
Fortsky does a lot of...
magaling niya mag-sneak screen. And from that sneak screen itself, nakakakuha siya ng separation. And I think sobrang, to me, it's very pleasing to the eye kasi parang textbook screen talaga siya. It's not like the normal screen, pero for me, it's the most effective.
I think
So, I think
perfect example si Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, Kyrie,
Chris Paul does it a lot. Lalo na yung nung siya yung nung nasa Clipper
parang
days.
Clipper pa nga eh.
Clipper days.
Olympic days nga eh.
Olympic days. Yeah. Chris Paul.
Yeah. Chris Paul. It looks very shifty and clean for me.
Yeah.
Yung elevator screen, Matt.
Oh, Golden State's elevator screen before. The original one. Sila kay Mark Jackson na elevator screen. Pass to the wing or pass to the middle, cut to the paint under the basket. Two bigs are waiting on the elbow. Lalabas ka lang from under the basket, sasara. So parang that's what you call an elevator. That's why it's called an elevator screen. Sasara yung screen para maharangan yung tao mo. Libre ka dapat top of the key. Libre ka dapat sa wing. It's very simple. Ito nga eh. Now that we're talking about plays, the simple things can really make such effective plays. If you have all that talent around you. Sobrang dali ng basketball. Gawin mo lang simple. May dagdag ka ba bang play?
Iniisip nga ako eh. It's hard to think of set plays. For us, it's easy to parang, what they call this, process it. Kasi tayo, former varsity kasi tayo. Kaya alam natin yung mga terminologies. Pero, tagal na natin naglaro kasi. Kaya, hindi ko na rin maalala yung mga set plays na I think it's very...
Motion offense. Wala. Pass screen away, pass cut, pass flare. It's very simple.
Yung ginagawa ng, well, when you're talking about another variation of screen, is yung, it's not double screen, kumbaga flip screen lang.
Flip screen, Varejao screen. Varejao screen.
Hindi Varejao screen, hindi yung fake screen. Parang screen ka, tapos flip lang yung screen.
Isa pang screen.
Screen ulit, oo. Tapos, yung play ni Coach Tab, ay in the NBA lang ba? Or
Any.
I'm not sure if play ni Coach Tab to eh. Basta siya. Kunwari, the big man is alam ko to kasi nung time nila Ange Kwame. Imagine the big man on top of the key. The point guard passes it to the big man on top of the key. Yung point guard na yun, magka-cut to the other side. Yung wingman on the strong side, handoff ng big man yun sa wingman. Pick and roll action. What they call this? drop pass to the big man. Ayun,
Mhm.
easy basket. Or ang alam ko ata yung primary ball handler, yung unang may hawak ng bola. Pumupunta ata sa same side ng corner eh. So yung may dalawang options yung wingman is to drop pass sa big or pwede niyang i-kick out sa corner. So I
Again,
think that's a good play there.
reiterating the simplicity of basketball. Alam mo, ilang beses mo rinig sa coach yan, di ba? Ang dali-dali ng basketball pinapahirapan.
Uh-huh.
Because it's true. Like looking outside in, madali lang talaga ang basketball. Kailangan lang, huwag mo mapahirapan sarili mo.
It's hard to say defensive plays din kasi for me it's not really more of
I think it
for
depends on who
me
you're going against.
defense is hindi siya systematic eh. Parang ano talaga effort lang talaga yung defense.
Effort, IQ, communication on defense eh.
Oo.
Maraming defense you can look it up. But it's just marami, ano ba? 1-2-2, 1-3-1, 2-3, man
Paborito
to
ng lahat.
man,
2-3.
box and 1, triangle 2. Sa amin, arrow, yung full court na full court press na 1-2-1-1. Marami yan.
Full
Pero
court press eh, no?
may 2-2-1, may 50 pa, which is 2-2-1 half court,
Half court.
or 1-2-1-1, 1-2-2 na half court, 1-3-1 na half court. Depende na yun sa coach.
Nakakamiss
Depende
rin
na
nakakamiss rin maging
player.
mag-training ng ganun.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Pero with that being said, yun lang masasabi namin for now. Again, shout out. Kala mo naman may paki sila Lebron at si JJ Redick sa atin. Pero shout out to them for making this type of content din. Alam ko marami kami nakuha from them, pero it's very interesting to talk about, lalo na for for people who are very interested in basketball. And I suggest that you go ahead and watch their podcast as well, because we loved it. Anyway, for now, that's it, no, Laij? Hopefully you like our content for today. Next week will be the start of the draft, hopefully, if wala kaming ibang maisip. But that's all for now. And again, thank you guys for watching. Let us know your thoughts. Baka may mga plays kayo dyan na alam na medyo unstoppable. Let us know din.
Yes.
So yeah, that's it. It's been fun. Matt and Lige here. Peace and love, y'all. Stay safe. God bless.